once we have conscientiously prepared the ground of our consciousness with clear intentions and heightened awareness, and once we have planted the seed by delving into the significant questions that shape our personal growth and evolution, we embark upon the next stage of our transformative journey. When our energy is concentrated in our first 3 energy centers, our heart can often be guarded or closed. Since the first 3 energy centers are related to our animal selves, procreation, safety, security, food and shelter, action and reaction, living in the states of consciousness associated with those centers, feeling and fueling the emotions of survival doesn't leave much energy for our precious hearts. And so we begin tending the seed by focusing on our heart, because where we place our attention is where we place our energy. The more we move out of survival, the more we expand the energy indigenous to the heart. Essentially, we're taking the time to give it our energy. And as we become more conscious of the heart, more present with it, the more it begins to respond. There are so many hidden treasures in the heart we don't yet know about, because it's hard to measure the benefits and effects of open-heartedness. So far in this work, the closest we've come is measuring all the wonderful biological effects of heart coherence, from strengthening immune function to genetic changes to more balanced, creative energy in the brain. With that in mind, once we've ascended our energy into the heart, we have to work on creating and sustaining heart coherence. Giving our heart our loving attention is the first step. The second step is to nurture it with elevated emotions. We're used to experiencing emotions with every other part of our body, but most of us need to practice feeling them with our hearts. Because the heart has a different consciousness, we must learn to activate. As our heart moves out of its protective mechanism of survival, it naturally starts to relax and open. Physiologically, things begin to happen. Feel-good hormones like oxytocin activate signaling pathways that enable blood to flow into the heart. That engorgement causes a profound feeling that amplifies the energy in the heart even more. When the heart is under the assault of constant stress, it becomes incoherent and its energy levels go down. That's because incoherent energy waves cancel each other out through interference. But when maintained coherent waves of energy interact, they create bigger waves. The higher the wave, the higher the amplitude, the higher the energy. It stands to reason then, the more energy in the heart, the more love we feel. This is how we not only create, but sustain heart coherence. In our first 3 energy centers, we felt the emotions of survival. Now we feel expansive emotions that open our heart. We feel joy, we feel kindness and compassion. We feel inspiration, compassion, gratitude. We feel pure love. We feel whole. We elevate ourselves out of the limited, pre-programmed conditions of our purely animal selves. We connect with our divinity. The journey of opening our heart is often misunderstood, as we tend to believe it is a complex and arduous process requiring intricate techniques. This misconception arises from confusing the gradual unfolding of the heart with a lack of progress. Let's revisit the imagery of the seed we explored in part 1. The seed we planted by posing profound soul questions. Just like a seed, it gathers resources over time to foster development and growth. Eventually, that seed sprouts, breaking through the surface and forming a tender stalk. Leaves unfurl, and as the plant matures, a bud emerges, a metaphor for our heart. Just as the bud of a flower delicately unfurls petal by petal, nature unfolds at its own pace. It requires the perfect balance of elements, optimal conditions, and nurturing care for the flower, the heart, to blossom. Learning to center and activate our heart demands practice and patience, much like tending to a budding flower. Similar to how a flower draws life force from the earth and its surroundings, our heart thrives on the life force generated by our focused attention, vibrant energy, and elevated emotions. Once our heart reaches a state of sustained coherence, our data reveals a natural elevation of energy from the heart to the brain, guiding it towards a state of beautiful harmony within alpha brainwaves. By maintaining heart coherence, we emit a magnetic field, a field that acts as a beacon, attracting experiences and opportunities towards us. In this state, we transcend mere survival and step into the realm of creation, where energy flows freely, allowing us to shape our reality. With the heart in full bloom, we transcend the sensation of lacking what we desire. The divide between our thoughts and the experience itself diminishes. From a place of wholeness, we manifest our desires instead of operating from a mindset of scarcity. We no longer seek external sources to find fulfillment. The opening of the heart is a delicate and organic process that demands our gentle collaboration. We cannot rush or force it. Striving and pushing only feed the emotions of survival. To cultivate emotions that ignite our creativity, we must find ourselves in a state of relaxed presence within the heart, in an awakened awareness in the brain. No matter where you find yourself on this transformative path, it's essential to remember that everyone experiences the blossoming of their heart in their own divine timing. If you ever feel frustrated with the pace of your personal growth, remind yourself that frustration does not unlock the heart's door. If you spend the majority of your day immersed in emotions that do not emanate from the heart center, you withhold the nurturing energy, the life force that propels its blooming. It's akin to the difference between the cold grip of winter and the nurturing warmth of spring. Hence, prioritize time for your heart. Devote your energy to it. Grant it your unwavering attention. Nurture it with tenderness. Show kindness to its sacred chambers. Listen intently to its whispers. Be fully present with its wisdom. Relax into its embrace. Stay deeply connected to its essence. Approach it with patience, allowing it to unfurl at its own pace. And above all, fall deeply in love with the magnificence it holds. Know that there are no limits to the growth and expansion you can experience. Your heart encompasses countless layers of emotions, akin to an infinite array of delicate petals, waiting to be unveiled. When you arrive at that state of sustained heart coherence, where your heart finally bursts into full bloom, recognize that it marks not the end of the process, but a beautiful beginning. You can always open up further. You can perpetually create more. You can eternally love more. What prompts us to ignite the desire for our heart to bloom and flourish? Many of us have grown accustomed to living in survival mode, flooding our systems with stress hormones. In this state, our hearts tend to close off, for the heart is the very nucleus of creation. And during times of stress, creation takes a back seat to mere survival. When we find ourselves in this state, our personalities, with their pre-programmed thoughts, emotions, and behaviors, take the lead. Our personal realities become a monotonous repetition, akin to watching the same TV show rerun day after day. There are no surprises, no discoveries, and no sense of mystery. We carry forward the programs of our past, the familiar stories and memories, and overlay them onto a future that appears all too predictable. But what about our soul? It seems to drift into slumber. The soul yearns to evolve its experience. It seeks more than the mundane repetition of the same old thing day in and day out. It thrives in the realm of mystery and craves the embrace of the unknown. The soul longs to expand its horizons as it embarks on its profound journey back to the source of all creation. To transition from a state of survival to one of boundless creation, we must establish the conditions that stir the soul from its dormant state. We need to rouse it from its slumber, inviting it to actively participate in the magnificent tapestry of life once more. Regrettably, it often takes a crisis for the slumbering soul to stir within us. It is during those pivotal moments in life when we come face to face with the realization that nothing external can alleviate the emotional burdens we carry in our state of survival, feelings of emptiness, anger, fear, resentment, jealousy, insecurity, discouragement, and despair. At last, we grasp the profound truth that until we transform ourselves, nothing in our lives will change. In these crucibles of crisis, we are compelled to turn our gaze inward. It is here that we must summon the courage to pose grander questions. Who am I? What is my purpose? Am I truly content? Is this the path I genuinely desire? These are the soul's questions, and they serve as the seeds we plant. While dwelling in survival mode, where fear reigns supreme, the unknown is perceived as a menacing threat. However, when the soul awakens from its slumber and yearns to craft the next extraordinary chapter of its journey, the unknown becomes an exhilarating adventure. And so the soul whispers its inquiry, "What other wonders lie beyond the horizon for me to explore?" With that whisper, we sow the seed that ultimately leads to the cultivation of a heart in full bloom. As the soul stirs, we evolve from barren ground to fertile soil. We commence the journey from mere survival to the realm of creation, and with each step, we behold reality in its pure, unfiltered essence, anew. Once we have diligently prepared the ground with our intentions and heightened awareness, and once we have planted the seed, by delving into the profound questions that shape our experience and evolution, we enter the next stage of our transformative practice. We embrace the role of nurturing caretakers, tending to the delicate shoot that breaks through the soil's surface. We ensure the right conditions, offering tender care and unwavering support, petal by petal, until the blossom of our heart unfolds in all its resplendent glory. Many of us have grown accustomed to living in a state of survival, where stress hormones inundate our systems. Unfortunately, this state often leads to the closing off of our hearts. You see, the heart is the very epicenter of creation, and when we find ourselves in the grip of stress, it is not a conducive time for creative expression. It is a time for mere survival. In this survival state, our personalities, with their ingrained thoughts, emotions, and behaviors, take the reins of our experience. As a result, our personal realities mirror this fallow existence, akin to watching the same repetitive TV show day in and day out. There are no surprises, no discoveries, and certainly no sense of mystery. We carry forth the programs of our past, the familiar stories and memories, and overlay them onto a future that appears all too predictable. But what happens to our soul amidst this repetitive cycle? It seems to drift into slumber. You see, the soul yearns for the evolution of its experience. It craves more than the monotonous repetition of the same thing day after day. The soul thrives in the realm of mystery and longs for the embrace of the unknown. It desires to expand its horizons as it embarks on its profound journey back to the source of all creation. Therefore, to transition from a state of mere survival to one of boundless creation, we must establish the conditions that stir the slumbering soul within us. We need to awaken it from its dormant state, inviting it to actively participate in the magnificent tapestry of life once more. It is unfortunate that for many of us, the awakening of the soul often comes when we are confronted with a crisis. It is during those pivotal moments in life when we realize that no external factors can alleviate the overwhelming emotions that accompany our survival state. Feelings of emptiness, anger, fear, resentment, jealousy, insecurity, discouragement, and despair. Inevitably, we reach a profound understanding that nothing in our lives will change unless we ourselves undergo a transformation. During these moments of crisis, we are compelled to turn our gaze inward. It is precisely in these times that we must summon the courage to ask ourselves profound questions. Who am I? What is the purpose of my existence? Am I genuinely happy? Is this the path that truly resonates with my being? These questions emanate from the very core of our soul. They are the seeds we sow in the fertile ground of our consciousness. When we find ourselves dwelling in survival mode, engulfed by fear, the unknown presents itself as a threat or danger. However, as the soul awakens and becomes captivated by the prospect of creating a new and transformative experience, the unknown transforms into an exciting adventure. Inquisitively, the soul ponders what other realms of existence are waiting to be explored, and with this contemplation, we plant the seed that will ultimately lead to the cultivation of a blooming heart. As the soul stirs within us, we undergo a remarkable evolution, transitioning from fallow ground to fertile soil. We commence the journey from mere survival to the realm of creation, and in doing so, we gain a fresh perspective, witnessing and experiencing reality for what it truly is, a profound and awe-inspiring tapestry of existence. Once we have conscientiously prepared the ground of our consciousness with clear intentions and heightened awareness, and once we have planted the seed by delving into the significant questions that shape our personal growth and evolution, we embark upon the next stage of our transformative journey. We assume the role of nurturing caretakers, tending to the delicate shoot that breaks through the surface of our awareness. We provide the optimal conditions and unwavering care, petal by petal, until the blossom of our heart unfurls in all its radiant splendor.